Hiccup stopped dead in tracks. "Don't do it! Fishlight, please don't do it!" he whispered, but Fishlight was fed up with Snorlax stunning and being sneezed and cheered. He was going to get himself a really cool dragon that the other boy would respect. Squinting so hard that he could barely see the pile of dragons, his eyes streaming, and scratching himself voluntarily. Fishlight reached slowly down at the bottom of most dragons, took one leg in hand, and gently yanked. The entire empire came crashing down in a furious tangle of flames and wings and ears. Every boy in the gardens gave in a horrid gasp. Most of the natives especially constantly at each other before salting back down to sleep. One brute bigger than the others opened his eyes and blinked a few times. Hiccup noted, with a great relief, the third eyelid was still down. The boy waited for the eyes to close, and then Fishlight sneezed. For gigantic sneezes that went echoing and bouncing off the cavern walls. The big nader started cycling ahead, frozen like a dragon statue, but very faintly. An obvious furrowing of the nose began to stroke, and very slowly. The third eyelid slid upward. "Uh-oh," whispered Hiccup. The nader's head suddenly whipped round to face Fishlight, its yellow cat's eye snapping into focus on the boy. It unfolded its wings to their greatest extent and stealthily advanced, like a panther about to spring. It opened its mouth wide and nosed to show the four dragon tongue and "Run!" shouted Hiccup, grabbing Fishlight's arm and dragging him away. The boy ran for the exit tunnel. Fishlight and Hiccup were the last to get there. There was no time to pick up the tools, so they were running in the pitch dark. The basket with the basic brown dragon in it was bumping on Hiccup's back. It had 2 minutes start on the dragons because it took a while for the first dragon to wake everybody else up. But Hiccup could hear a furious roaring and flapping as the dragons started to pull out the tunnel after the boys. He ran a little faster. The dragons could move faster than the boys because they could see better than the dark. But even they were held up when the tunnel got smaller, and they had to fold their way. Just Squirrel told, "I haven't got a dragon," panted Fishlight, a couple of pitches behind Hiccup. "That!" said Hiccup. He scrambled eventually on his eyebrow toward a narrow bed. "It is the least out of our problems. They're gigantic on us." "No dragon," repeated Fishlight supportingly. "Oh, for Thor's sake," snapped Hiccup. He thrust his bucket into Fishlight's arm and grabbed the empty one of the Fishlight's back. "Have mind, then wait here." And Hiccup turned and went back into the narrow pit, even though they were roaring and getting louder and closer by the second. "What are you doing?" screamed Fishlight, frantically dancing up and down on the spot. Hiccup came back through the hole again, and precious moments later, Fishlight grabbed a hold of an arm to help haul him down. They could hear a horrible snuffing that sounded as if the nose of a dragon had entered in the other end of a hole. Hiccup bumped a rod and at it squeaked indignantly. They turned a corner and suddenly they could see light from outside at the end of a final tunnel. Fishlight went first, but just as Hiccup was sneezing down to follow, the dragon pounced at him on the flap and shrieked. They could hear a horrible snuffing that sounded as the nose of a dragon had entered the other end of the hole. Hiccup burst at a rock and it squeaked indignantly. They turned into a corner and suddenly they could see light from outside at the end of the final tunnel. Fisheye went first, but just as Hiccup was kneeling down to follow, a dragon pounced on him with a flap and a shriek. Hiccup hit it and fell back enough for him to crawl toward the lights. Another dragon, or maybe the same one, sank its fangs into Hiccup's calf. He was so desperate to get out, he dragged at the animal though with him. As soon as Hiccup had shoulders were thrown into the light, there was a gobbler. He grabbed Hiccup into the arms and hauled him out. Dragon pouring after him. Jump! Yelled Gobbler, as he stunned the dragon with his one blow of a mighty fist. What do you mean, jump? Hiccup hesitated as he looked down the dizzying drops into the sea. No time to climb down, panted Gobbler. Panting, a couple of dragons headed together and bouncing 3 more cliffs on its gigantic belly. Jump! Hiccup closed his eye and leaped off the cliff. As he lunged through the air, the dragon attached to his leg and released its jaw with a squawk of alarm and flew off. Hiccup was traveling such as a speed by the time he hit the water that didn't feel like the water at all, more like something hard and painful, and so cold that he nearly passed out. He spluttered to the surface, amazed to find that he didn't appear to be dead, and it was immediately drenched by the gigantic splash of a Gobbler the Blanche, landing a couple of feet away from him. Shrieking fiercely, the dragons swarmed out of the cave and dived boom in the floating Vikings. Hiccup pulled his helmet as far as it would go. There was a horrible scraping sound and dragons hissing, and dragons' talons raked across the metal. Another one landed hissing on the water right in front of Hiccup's face. It took off again with a stretch, and it felt how cold the sea was. The dragons didn't like flying, though, the snow, and with its relief, Hiccup watches as they flew back to the scream terrible dragon and saw of dragon knees from the worm to the cave enter. Gobbler started to pull the boy out of the area and onto the rocks. Viking boys are strong swimmers, but it is difficult to keep afloat when you have a basket full of trapped, terrified dragons on your back. Hiccup was the last to be saved, just in time as the cold beginning to put him to sleep. Well, at least it wasn't death, thought Hiccup as the Gobbler grabbed him to the neck and rescued him, nearly drowning him again in the process, but it certainly wasn't glory either. Goodbye, see you next time.